you're a sky, 'cause you're a sky full of stars.
Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for being here and joining us for Deborah Kobylt Live. And in studio with me today is someone that I'd like to call as a friend, Mindy Freedman of the SAM Initiative, founder of the SAM Initiative. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
We've been working on this, trying to get her in studio for a while. She's a busy lady. So I am so impressed with everything that you do. And what I'd like to do is talk about the SAM Initiative because you started this in 2014.
Yes.
Since then, you've raised over $750,000. And basically that goes to, help the needs of the community here in Los Angeles. And there are so many needs here, everything from, women's issues to foster children, to, food shelters, all kinds of things. So I'm going to let you tell me who you help and what you are.
So the SAM Initiative, I started the SAM Initiative, which is a giving circle, which is basically...
Right, we're talking about that. Yeah. What is a giving circle?
A giving circle. It's a group of individuals that pool their charitable dollars so that they can have a greater impact in the community. So basically, if you were to write a check to your favorite organization for $250, you really don't know if it's going to have much impact or meaning. But when you write a check for $70,000 and you know what it's going for, it's a way to make a meaningful gift, not only to have more impact in the organization, but also for the giver to feel inspired about their giving.
And to be clear, you're not saying that it was my $70,000. You mean everyone pools their money together.
We pool it all together.
Yeah, so you're $250 plus somebody else's $250.
But what we do really well is we pool and we vet. So we look around the community and we really look to see where what are the most pressing needs, things that we may not know about. So as an example, in Los Angeles, there's 50,000 nonprofit organizations.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's a lot.
There's a lot.
And yet, when we ask our members, where would you like to see your dollars go? On average, we get only just a few nominations because it's hard to know who to give to, where to give to, how much to give to. So our job, the SAM Initiative's job, and we are, by the way, we're partnered with the California Community Foundation, who's an incredible sponsor, fiscal sponsor of ours. But we look and see if they want to know about homelessness and homeless students, then we'll look in the community to find an organization that is really worth putting the spotlight on and bringing that to our members so they can not only learn about it, but to then make a meaningful gift to help to make a difference.
Can we show a little bit of the video? Because you have a video on the SAM Initiative, which you're speaking. You're very compelling.
Thank you.
Because I know that this comes from your heart. We'll get into that too, because this is pretty much a lifetime that you've been serving others, before you even started SAM Initiative. So anyway, let's go to that.
The SAM Initiative is an organization that pools charitable dollars so that we can make a larger contribution to organizations in the community that are really addressing societal needs.
With your investment in us, we will be recovering over 3 million pounds of produce.
Your funds will help 50 women have furniture.
I began the SAM Initiative 4 years ago with the intention of inspiring others to give and to be a catalyst for change.
I love being a part of the SAM Initiative. It fills me with hope.
The SAM Initiative offered me a way to become more personally involved, and that was really exciting to me.
As an organization, I see us having a dual mission. One of our objectives is to have an impact in the community. But the other role is to inspire giving. This year was our first year launching SAM SE, which focuses on social enterprise. And social enterprise looks to support nonprofit organizations that have an income-generating activity to help sustain the organization.
You can really have profit and purpose really mingle.
That is incredible. And of course, and there's a list of all of the many, many organizations that you've helped. Now, how many come to you each year, needing help. And then how do you sift through that? That would be heartbreaking to me.
Yeah.
To be able to say, not this year.
Well, again, it's really important that we match, that we're trying to bring issues to the women, to our members, to the individuals that are involved. So what are you interested in learning about or focusing on? So, for example, last year we found, sex trafficking is a huge issue.
Massive.
In our city. It's one of the largest. We have the largest foster care population, and people don't know that. So bringing that issue to the women. So it's really, your question was...
No, how do you sift through all the needs of these
So right
people?
now we're nomination only within, because with you have 50,000 nonprofits, and if I open it up to just we're not a foundation.
Right.
So this is something that's really important. Between the individual donor and a philanthropic, like a community foundation, there's no vehicles to learn about giving. How do you give?
Right,
Where do you give?
Where you're
So
different.
that's what we offer, we offer a vehicle for people to not only give, but to learn about what we should give to and how we should give it. And so we meet and we do the due diligence, we do site visits, and then we vote. So every member has a vote.
I think that's outstanding. And what you told me on the phone was nothing gives you more pleasure and purpose, other than, of course, helping these many organizations, but to actually see one of your own members, a philanthropic member.
It's a hard word.
It's a hard word, right? That's a tough one. Go off and then decide that they had a passion to start something of their own, right?
Yeah.
I mean, because you want everyone to get out there and
I'm really,
find the joy of giving.
Yeah, and what I'm really inspired by, I mean, of course, is the impact in the community. But what I'm most inspired by is that women, sometimes first-time givers who've never even given before, to realize that their gift can make a difference. And when you put your gift with yours and yours and yours, we can make a significant impact.
Tell me a little bit about your background that you even got into this.
Well, let's see. I have always worked in nonprofit. My master's degree is in working in development, so I worked for many years, 5 years actually, for partially in that time for the government and USAID for helping women start microloans in Latin America.
I love that.
So I was there for 5 years helping with a $50 loan, watching how a woman will risk everything to start a little micro business so that she could sustain her family. I mean, that took a lot of courage for a woman, an individual, to take a loan knowing that if you don't repay it, no one else gets one. So it's powerful to watch this. So I did micro lending for 5 years, moved my focus, that was in Latin America, moved my focus back to Los Angeles, and was really looking to see how I could make a difference. And what I saw was this traditional approach, which we have here, which is, well, if they're hungry, we need to feed them. But what I saw and what I learned in Latin America is that you also have to really help people help themselves. So that's why we have 2 giving circles that we started. One, we just completed our 5th cycle of the first one, which is our core group that addresses immediate needs in the community, like homelessness and veterans and sex trafficking.
God, there's so much.
There is so much. And the other one that is focusing on this idea of helping others help themselves. So in the social enterprise piece, which is a very cutting edge piece where we're collaborating with different schools and universities because they're the young ones that are helping move the movement forward. But we're the funder. We're willing to take a risk in that space because we believe in it.
Right. So talk to me about, I know that you were just honored by the American Jewish University with the Call to Rise, right? Tell me what that is, the Call to Rise.
Well,
that's quite an honor.
It was an honor.
That's huge.
I have to say it was the first time that I've been honored, and I really felt that it took a lot of courage for me to accept the honor, because I was there on behalf of our members who really, none of this would be possible if it wasn't for all of them. And it was especially hard because, as you know, I just lost my mom. And it was so difficult to stand there and to help, to inspire, to talk about what inspires me, why I do what I do, and the Call to Rise. Really, I mean, what I came to is it can't it takes courage. It takes courage to give. And I think that it is why I get up in the morning. And I think that it's just something that comes naturally to me.
But you told me something interesting in your speech. You said you were fearful that no one would respond, that no one would even respond to what you're trying to do. Talk to me about that, because that's such a common thread that we all face.
Yeah.
And a lot of times people have an idea and they just won't continue because they're so frightened that no one will hear them. So tell me about that.
Well, 5 years ago, when I wanted to do this Giving Circle concept, I had been involved in one, and I was so excited about it that I thought, I know a lot of women in particular that would like to do something, and get involved in their giving, learn about what's going on in the community. What if I just start one? Maybe I'll start my own. So I sent out an email to 80 people. It was 80 people, and my goal was to raise $50,000 that we could give that year.
And this was in 2013.
Yeah, we gave our first grants in 2014.
Yeah.
And I sent it out, and I was so scared. I literally held my breath before I hit send.
You're so cute.
I was like you do when you go through a tunnel, because I was just like, and I have to admit, I still hold my breath before I hit some
That's
of them.
the beauty of it, though. You always have to be able to still hold your breath.
Right.
Because,
well, I just didn't know. I didn't know how it would be received. I didn't know what people would think. I didn't know if they thought I would want it for me. It's
especially in this town, right?
Yeah.
Where there are so many places where you can give, and just as you said, would they think I'm doing it for me, or because this is really something I'm passionate about wanting to do for somebody else? So go ahead. You sent it out.
I sent it out, and and we met our goal of 50,000 that year.
The first year.
Yeah, we had 20 members, and second year we reached our goal of 80,000. Our third year we reached 170,000. Our third year we reached to I don't know. And then this year we just finished our fifth giving cycle, and we gave in grants $250,000. But what I'm very proud of, more than the grants given, is the ripples that what this process is. The grant is just
important, but
it's important. But when you get these women involved, and their wheelhouses of who they are, or just who they know, and getting them involved in something, the impact is far greater than the grants given. And because, we've given, like you said, $750,000 in direct giving, but when you add that with the indirect that we've inspired, we're well over $1 million of impact into the community.
That's pretty outstanding.
Yeah, and it's truly the women that are involved that make it all possible.
So tell me specifically some of the recipients of the grant this year.
Yes, so this year, of course, we talked about child sex trafficking. Saving Innocence is doing an extraordinary job. They're working with law enforcement to really come to a protocol to help children that are being swept up in this. It's just frightening.
It's massive.
Frightening.
And I have to tell you, I don't know how to get to the underbelly of it, because I was just talking to someone about this, and it's very deep. There's a lot of executives that are part of it. Where do you even begin? So basically, you raise money to what? To help with what? Law enforcement to help?
Yeah, it's a collaborative effort between Saving Innocence and law enforcement to help with that partnership, and to really help educate officers, and to more of a curriculum of what a protocol on how to respond. Yeah. So we're very, very proud of that gift.
Absolutely.
Because it's very important. And there's other organizations that are addressing it. One is CAST, which does an extraordinary job. We also gave a grant this year to the Ulmer Institute. Bishop Ulmer is an amazing, extraordinary individual, and they started they're over in Inglewood, but working with their institute and this Israeli technology to bring this pre-traumatic stress training to LA Unified. So at some point...
What is that, pre-traumatic stress training?
Bishop Ulmer was in Israel, and happened to be there when there was a scare.
I see.
And the way that everybody responded was so extraordinary that he said, how did you do this? How did you know how to do this? So
Wow.
that,
See how one person
so
can
that
start that ripple effect like you talk about?
So he brought that here, and he's been training these, kids in LA Unified in these areas where at some point in their life, they do experience drive-by shooting, they experience gang violence, they experience some kind of trauma, but they know how to respond. So our grant will reach approximately, will go into schools about 3,000, where there's 3,000 kids. So it's amazing. And then our third grant is for
something I didn't even think about.
Angel City. Yeah. I mean, and by the way, Inglewood, it's not that far from.
No, I was just there last night at the Adam Levine concert, in fact.
Love your T-shirt, by the way.
I know, my sugar T-shirt. It was a great evening. But, so Inglewood, which is also where they're building the stadiums, the football stadiums. So you've got, concert venues, football stadiums. And then on the other hand, you've got tremendous poverty in the community. It's
just incredible violence, which has become a norm. So it's how do you deal with that, and how do you react to it in the moment so that you don't regret it later? You don't have the post-traumatic stress where you replay it over and over. That's
how
what
does
the
a person
training
get
does.
through that post-traumatic stress when they're replaying it? So I think it's great that actually you funded that.
Yeah.
because
So how do you address
that's
it?
Big. How
Yeah.
do people address that?
We vet the organizations
Right, I
and look at the
understand.
program, but at least our due diligence committee, so each of the members, we break into committees, they go into the detail of each grant application, what are they going to use it for, and to really understand it. So when we vote at the end of the day on who gets the funding, we're understanding that what this program, it's well vetted, it's well funded.
Oops, we just lost a light. I hope I still look okay in a few minutes. So, okay, go ahead.
And then, of course, our third was adaptive sports for individuals and children who have lost limbs, and it's Angel City Sports. And our social enterprise grant was $100,000, which was huge, which is for With Love Market and Cafe. But I want to say something that's really important. I know in the video, and that picture that's showing right now is of Students for Students. That is a homeless shelter that is started by a young man, UCLA student named Louis C. And he saw this epidemic of students at UCLA that are couch surfing, living in the library. And so he moved into his car and put all of his money to rent a space in Santa Monica to fund a place for students to go to sleep.
Hang on. So these are kids who weren't living in the dorms.
Right.
And they had nowhere to stay.
Right.
They're
but
getting
it's one
educated.
one in 10 students.
Okay, that's tremendous.
1 in 10. So nobody knew, it's not common knowledge, but when we put the spotlight on it and started the due diligence and started the wheelhouses of our members, before we knew it, the Church of Latter-day Saints, who so lovingly gave them an additional $25,000 grant. They're now just been, so much has happened since. So what we do is we like to bring a spotlight to something that you wouldn't otherwise know about and hope that it gains some kind of awareness.
Can we look at a couple of the other photos that we have, and you can
those are our recipients.
Those are the recipients.
Yeah, our recipients from this year, and our board members. And I know in the video it showed Food Forward. We gave them a couple years ago a $60,000 grant for their wholesale recovery program. So basically,
that's tremendous.
To
Tell us a little bit about
recover
that.
food and vegetables that would otherwise be thrown away. And just recently, they got a $500,000 government grant for a center downtown for the same program that we funded. So I don't know if they probably would have achieved it anyway because they're extraordinary. But our members feel that's the key, is that we feel a lot of pride in what we do. So our return on investment for our philanthropic, there's that word, is that pride.
Well, and you saw that in the video. Some of the people that work with the SAM initiative are saying they're getting something more out of it than almost what they're giving.
Yeah.
And again, you said nothing makes you happier that when someone who's worked with you goes off and then develops something on their own. Tell me a little bit about that, because you take great pride in that, in fostering people who can go off and create something of their own.
Well, like I said, there's really nowhere in the community that there's very few resources that you can learn how you can be a thoughtful giver. You can go to the wonderful California Community Foundation, the Jewish Community Foundation, you can have them help you. But if you're not if you just have a little bit to give, but you want to make a difference. So where do you learn about things? And so what we do is we start with a fast pitch where our members come and get to hear from the different organizations, and then we vote which ones will go forward in our process. And then we have a grant application. So With Love Cafe, they wrote an application. We did the due diligence, or in this case, we collaborated with some students to do the due diligence. And then, so we learn more about it. We go deeper into it.
You work with kids, too.
Yeah.
You have a lot of kids who you try and bring on board and get them interested at a young age in being philanthropic.
Yeah.
And don't you also work with an app as well? Well, tell me the app that don't you have one where you can find like where to go and what to do? Was that you? Was it somebody else I was talking to? Oh, well, sorry about that. But you do
That's a good idea, though. I like that.
Well, I don't know where the Teen Talk app. What about that? Were you telling me about that? The Teen Talk app?
Yeah.
Okay. I am incredibly sorry about that one. That's okay. We can either cut that out later or just chalk it up to doing too much. But I know that you do a lot in the schools, and you get a lot of the kids involved too.
Yeah. Well, again, we invite high school students, and we've had some lower school students as well. Watch the fast pitch. So when you're in a room and you get to hear organizations pitch their need, I mean, you're hearing first at hand, like, what is the problem? What is the issue? It's an opportunity to learn. And it's an opportunity for the organization to be in the room of people who care, of like-minded individuals.
I have to tell you, so much need, and yet so much wealth. And
how do you know how to do it?
How do you know how to do it?
Well, I feel, again, that's what we do
It is, and that's why you're so great at this.
Yeah, I mean, I think
in your own lane, you're doing an incredible job. Because may I just interrupt you for a minute?
Sure.
Just like you were saying, a lot of the food would have just gone to waste.
Yeah.
And it's almost like our society can be very wasteful. So we need someone like you. We need someone like the SAM Initiative to bring it all together and say, wait a minute, there is something we could do. Or for them to say, there is something we could do with this food and support that. And to create a link between those who have so much and those who have so little.
And to that point, we're coming into a time where women have more philanthropic dollars than ever before. And if they don't have a way to give it, and they want to make a gift, they want to have a meaningful difference. So how can we help them give? And as I said to you on the phone, we often say that I don't know who the bigger recipient is the grant recipient or us. It's the symbiotic relationship that you have to give to receive and receive to give, and one can't live without the other.
So what are you looking at next? What are some of the other issues that are out there that you're really looking at?
That's a great question. I had the honor of meeting Supervisor Mark Ridley Thomas the other day, and I asked him that question. I said, "Tell me,
what's next?" Right, because he knows.
What are some things that I need to share about what's happening in our community? And there's certain things that obviously are percolating, but it was interesting. I mean, he said trafficking, number one. He talked, of course, homelessness is always a topic.
It's massive, and it's a tough one.
Yeah.
Because no judgment at all, but more and more people are living on the streets, and it's a bit of a danger for everyone.
Yeah.
In terms of even a health issue.
We talked about veterans. We talked about STIs, sexually transmitted infections. Super health. Health risk, health safety for the community.
Women in prison, you were talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
What about women in prison? About raising?
Well, we're going to definitely look at these issues for next giving cycle. We start in the fall. We have a nomination committee made up of members, and what we do at the end of each cycle is we survey the members. If they have a specific nominee, I mean, we have a website where you can go and put your organization in. We'll look at it and we'll put it on our database. Definitely. We keep and respond to every name of organization that inquires. But we really want the women to feel involved. And so if they don't have a specific nomination, which they often don't because they look to us for that.
Right, I understand that.
Then we'll do categories. So it could be women in gangs. It could be education, women in health, Alzheimer's. There's a bunch of issues that we need to learn. We need to bring more awareness and more spotlight and really help them bring them forward so that people understand what's going on in our community. Because as I always say, you know, it's just this, it's like throwing the pebble out into the water and it creates a ripple. And when you do it from where we are and it goes deep into our community and then it goes even deeper, we don't even realize the impact and the ripples that it will have.
Another big one, elderly.
Yes, elder
as you
abuse.
said, to coin your phrase, there's a tsunami of elder abuse going on out there because you know, there's more older people out in our communities, and
Yeah.
who's caring for them? I mean, that's really very difficult. So that's another area I'm sure you're
Yeah.
looking into. Yeah.
Yeah, it's exciting and
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Mindy, it's wonderful. That's why after reading about you and knowing you a little bit, and knowing what you do, I needed to have a discussion with you to just as a call to action for other people out there to get involved, to call you and just get to know more of what they can do. So for fun, I like to talk about what you do. And I know this is fun for you because it comes from your heart. It's joyful for you. But I like to talk about you are a triathlete, which is incredible. I think I'm kind of cool. I think I'm kind of cool because I'm a marathoner. But you are a triathlete. That's incredible. You did a triathlon last year.
I did my very first.
Are you doing another one?
Yeah, I'm.
That's hard.
I signed up.
Oh, you did? Where's
I
the
did.
next one?
I do. It's in Malibu. I do the Malibu Tri, the Olympic distance. Wow.
So what's the hardest
I've
part?
never done it before.
The cycling, the swimming?
I don't. Oh, for sure.
I'm a swimmer, and I don't think I could handle that.
Well, I had never swam in the ocean before, except to play in the waves. So tackling that pushed me so far out of my comfort zone, like you can't believe. And I knew physically preparing for that try would be hard, but the mental part was. That one day in the ocean, just swimming, and there's like a school of stingrays.
No.
And this woman says, "Focus, just focus." And I'm like, and as my coach Jim Lubinsky says, one moment at a time, one stroke at a time, just get through, stay focused, and it's all going to be
With
okay.
the stingrays swimming around you?
You just had to keep going.
You just pretend they're not there, I guess. I'd be afraid they'd grab a hold of me. Or...
But I was really proud of it because I had never swam in the ocean. I had never clipped into a bike before, so it was a mile swim and a 25-mile bike and then a 10K run.
Boy, probably by the time you got on your feet at the end, it's like, whew, this part will be easy, right? I got you.
It was really fun.
It's really something to be proud of because it trains
you.
your mind, doesn't it?
Yeah.
When I finished the first marathon, I thought, I can do anything. I mean, I honestly felt so proud of that moment that I felt like it's really mental training. You know, you take that with you to do something like this.
Well, I think you really hit a really important theme for me too. Is that stepping out of your comfort zone?
Oh yeah,
coming on your show. It takes courage.
Oh, we're sitting here miking. We're doing our hair. At least I was doing mine because it's such a process to come on here. You're like, well, but you did great.
No, but they like you said, they do bleed into one another. What you do in your personal and what you do professionally, and they're filled. You know, it's stretching yourself out of your comfort zone is really how you grow and how you change and how you make a difference.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Any parting words that you'd like people to know about you and about the SAM initiative?
I guess the one thing is that we're all intertwined on this journey, and we're all inseparable, and we can do so much more together than we can alone. So whatever that is, and for everyone to just have the courage to give.
Where do they get in touch with you?
SAMinitiative.org. Initiative is a hard word to spell. But
INITIATIVE. But we'll put that on our social media for you as well.
Yes. So SAMinitiative.org. Our email is there.
Okay, thank you so much. I really appreciate you coming down here.
Thank you.
To the Sunset Gower Studios here in Hollywood. And please look her up, SAMinitiative.org. Mindy Freedman. Everybody, thanks for joining us, and we will see you again next time.